Good evening. Welcome to The Love on the Cloud, brought to you by St. Louis Media and Entertainment Group. I'm your host, Herson St. Tonight I am diving into a topic that's been on everyone's mind, the 2024 U.S. presidential election. As you know it, President Joe Biden, dropped out of the race, and he's being replaced by Vice President Kamala Harris on the ticket to be the opponent of former President Donald J. Trump, who's representing the Republican Party. But as we also know it, this is going to be more than just an election. It's going to be a critical phase, a critical moment in the lives of many Americans, especially the working class and the middle class Americans. The Democratic Party is promising a whole lot just to gain the vote. Meanwhile, the Republican Party, they're not hiding their strategy. They're not hiding their strategy. The Democrats want to protect the women's right to make a decision. The Democrats want to protect abortion. The Democrats want to protect LGBTQ. The Democrats want to protect middle-class Americans for their taxes not to be raised. On the other hand, the Republican Party, they only have one plan. And their plan is Project 2025. What is Project 2025? Project 2025, in my opinion, it's a blueprint, it's a layout, okay? It's an architectural design for what I personally call a dictatorship. A dictatorship because the main framework behind Project 2025 is to basically have the government make the decisions for everyday Americans. Why do I say everyday Americans, but not every single Americans? Because Project 2025 is protecting no others than the 1% that basically been thriving, over the last few decades in America. The 1%, the multimillionaires and billionaires of America, the ones who are above the law and the ones who make the laws. Technically speaking, we have congressmen, congresswomen, we have senators. But every single law enacted by these people, whether you're Republican or Democrat, every single one of these laws are influenced by one of those multi-millionaires and billionaires, those big donors. Every single laws, every single rules that are passed in Congress or in the Senate are some way, somehow, it is my belief that they are some way, somehow influenced by those mega rich people who only hold 1% of the country, will only represent, 1% of the country's population, but hold 99% of the wealth. And those are the engineers, those are the brains, those are the power behind Project 2025. Project 2025 is gonna be a noose around the neck of many Americans if Donald Trump wins this election. Now again, because I choose not to vote for Donald Trump, I'm not gonna sit there and say you should not vote for Donald Trump. Because I choose not to vote for Kamala Harris, I'm not gonna sit there and say for somebody not to vote for the vice president. It is a decision that you have to make on your own. It is a right that you have to choose your president, to choose your government officials, the elected government officials of your choosing, the one that you want to lead the country for the next 4 years. But just know this, the person who's gonna be leading this country over the next 4 years has an agenda. The next government we're gonna have leading this country over the next 4 years is coming with an agenda. That agenda may favor you, it may not favor you. At the end of the day, the only thing I'm gonna ask every single one of you who's out there who's gonna be voting is when you dropping that ballot, when you're casting that vote on behalf of that president and that senator, whomever you're casting the vote for, think about America. Think about America. Because this coming election, okay, we're gonna see the rebirth of democracy, or we're gonna see the execution of democracy. Project 2025 is a noose around the neck of democracy. President Donald Trump over the last few weeks has been distancing himself from Project 2025. You know, even though his former cabinet members, Mr. What's his name, Mr. Foss, I believe, is he's the driving force behind Project 2025. Okay, he's even said that he wants Stephen Miller, you know, to be part of the cabinet of the president once again. And we all know who Stephen Miller is. Okay, we all know who Stephen Miller is. I don't need to go into depth about him. We've seen him on TV. We've seen him during the previous administration with President Trump, and we know what his intentions are. Could you imagine now having Stephen Miller having his hand on Project 2025? I'm not gonna jump the gun and say this is probably gonna be the last election that we see in America, because I've heard a lot of people talking about it. I heard the rumors. I've seen people being so concerned about even though I believe the blueprint of Project 2025 is the same blueprint for dictatorship. It's just like, it's not as transparent as what a dictator would lay on the table, but believe me, it has everything inside of that Project 2025 manuscript, or everything inside of that Project 2025 over 900 pages, have the comparison, have the resemblance, has the mirror image of what dictators use when they lead. Okay? When you have documents who's calling for the government to get rid of the Department of Education, or fire civil servants, get rid of the DOJ, get rid of the institutions like the FBI. I mean, what is the plan behind it? We have a country, we are so far behind with most of the industrial nations when it comes to education, and you wanna get rid of the Department of Education. What for? So you could privatize it? So now, when you privatize it, there will be no more public school? The people from the middle class and the working class Americans, they're not gonna be able to pay for private school for their kids to go to high school. So what are you gonna do with those hundreds of thousands of teachers? Those civil servants that you wanna, that you're calling to fire, what are you gonna do with them? They have a family too. They are Americans too. So what exactly is the plan for those people when you get rid of civil servants, when you get rid of the Department of Education, when you get rid of the DOJ? So what is it? You know, I mean, like I said, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump, but I'm not against anybody who's a fan of it. But for crying out loud, why you want to get rid of the DOJ? So you don't get investigated no more for the possibility of the skeletons you have, the other skeletons you have in your closet? Now I understand that you're distancing yourself now from Project 2025, but you're only doing it now because you see the disadvantage of it. And that's the reason why I say to people, when you vote with America in mind. A party will be a party, and a party is full of snakes. All political party here in America and in any other countries on earth, whether you're an industrialized country or you're an impoverished country, every single one of the politicians are snakes. I don't care if you're from Haiti, if you're from the US, if you're from Canada, France, or if you're from Belgium. Every single one of those politicians, they have an agenda. And every single one of those agendas favor the wealthies. So the only power as ordinary people that we have, as ordinary people is the power of our vote. So that's why we have to vote wisely. Vote wisely. And vote in a way where we won't have to wrestle and fight with Project 2025. Let's kill Project 2025 on arrival. Let me get on the internet, and I'm going to read a couple of things for you guys from what Project 2025 is proposing. It is a nightmare. It is a noose around the neck of working class Americans, of the middle class Americans, and American of colors. It is a noose, okay? Because it's crazy. It is absolutely ridiculous. Project 2025 is doing nothing but putting the rich on top and then kill the dream of the middle class and the working class, okay? All right. Project 2025 is looking to ban all abortion medication, okay? The abortion pill pose the single greatest threat to unborn children in a post-Roe world. The FDA should reverse its approval of chemical abortion drugs. That's one of the things that Project 2025 is proposing. Now, again, I'm pro-life. I believe in, I don't believe, let me put it this way, I don't believe in abortion. I'm pro-life. However, it is not my job to tell a woman what to do with her body. It's between that person and whatever being that they believe in. If they believe in God, it's between them and God. If they believe in Muhammad, it's between them and Muhammad. If they believe in Buddha, it's between them and Buddha. Whomever and whatever God that they pray to, it's between them. But me, I'm pro-life. But at the same times, I know how to mind my goddamn business. I'm not going to tell somebody how to, how to care for their body and how to love their children, whether it's an unborn child or a born child. It's between them, all right? So, again, do as you please. And to me, it's very, how would I say that? What's the word that I'm looking for? I cannot really find the word I want to use, but to me, it baffles me how these men out there who's calling for, like for example in Texas, they're looking to bring the death penalty for anyone who's basically involved in some sort of an abortion. And those politicians out there, those multimillionaires and billionaires, they're probably forcing women to have more abortion, okay? Forcing women to have more abortion than the average Americans are, because they have more to hide. But then again, they want to make it illegal. They want to have it both ways. They want to have it both ways, which is ridiculous. Okay, Project 2025, like I mentioned earlier, they're looking to end the independence of the Department of Justice and the FBI. That's another thing. Conservatives have long believed in either ending law enforcement activities of independent agencies or ending their independent status. So Project 2025 is not a fan of the DOJ. They're not a fan of the FBI, okay? In part because these agencies had the audacity to investigate former President Donald J. Trump. So now when you get rid of these independent agencies under what Project 2025 is proposing, you basically, if Donald Trump win the election, well, that's the only way for Project 2025 to come on the table, because the Democrats already say they don't want to deal with this. They already call it a nightmare. But let's assume for a minute, that Donald Trump win the election and Project 2025 becomes the law of the land. Okay? Because believe me, we already see that the GOP, they don't care about the Constitution anymore. Okay? They're disregarding every rule and every laws and everything that has to do with the Constitution. So when Donald Trump win the election, Project 2025 is gonna be, I will not say concretely, but I will say transparently, but I will say in the shadow, Project 2025 is gonna become the law of the land. So you get rid of the Department of Justice, you get rid of the FBI, you get rid of those Department of Education, you get rid of all those civil servants. And what do you have? You have a dictatorship. So the president, like he said, before even won his first term, he could stay in Manhattan and kill somebody and he wouldn't face any criminal justice. He would not go on trial for that. So that's basically the blueprint for it. So he could break any laws he wants. He could do whatever he wants. If there's no Department of Justice that's gonna be there to investigate it, well, there's no independent, Department of Justice. There's no independent FBI. Everything is gonna have to be under the command of the Commander-in-Chief. Therefore, he can do whatever he wants. So, do you want a government here in America in the 21st century? Okay, here in the 21st century, do you want a government that is like monarchy? Do you want a president that rules like a king? How stupid and shameful would it be that America went into Iraq, get rid of Saddam Hussein because of dictatorship? America never liked Chavez because of dictatorship. America never liked the Duvaliers because of dictatorship. America never liked Fidel Castro because of the dictatorship. America never liked Maduro because of dictatorship. Should I continue? And all of a sudden, the same thing that you were preaching against, you practicing it here at home? The same thing for years that you've been modeling yourself as the sheriff of the world, getting rid of all the so-called dictators, and you opening the door here at home for dictatorship? Is this the America that we want? I don't think so. I don't think so. This Project 2025 is also calling for the cancellation of the Social Security. I've been working my butt off here in America. I'm not a multi-millionaire. I can't even dream about being a billionaire. For crying out loud, I've tried the Mega Million and the Powerball in the past, and I never came close. So my dream of being a multi-millionaire and a multi-billionaire is already being flushed down the toilet. So the only thing that I have to rely on is my Social Security. Just like many of you, you have your social security to rely on. And now you have a president who's calling for the cancellation of Social Security. So what do they want? They want me to work until I'm 100 years old? What am I falling back on? Again, I just wanted to come here real quick and bring this up. Project 2025 is a nightmare. And I believe if in fact the GOP wins this election, it's going to be a possible 4 years of nightmare, if not longer, for average American. Again, I'm not telling you who to vote for. I haven't decided who I'm voting for. I'm neither Republican or Democrats. I'm an independent. With 180 days to go, all the momentum is shifting toward the Democratic Party. But they yet to really propose what the concrete plan is. Okay? They yet to propose something that can make me change my mind and say, you know what, or make me make a decision saying that I'm sticking with them. I don't vote party. I vote common sense. I vote for the future of my sons and the future of my future grandchildren. My parents are old. I vote for their prescription drugs. Yeah, I vote for their prescription drugs. My nephews and my nieces, they're gonna go to college. I vote for their education. Pretty soon my son's gonna go to high school and then college. I'm voting for his education. America will last longer than any politicians, especially Donald Trump was on his last stand as a candidate at 78 years old. So America will be here long after Donald Trump is gone. So therefore, I'm gonna vote for the future of America. I cannot vote for the future of Donald Trump. I'm not gonna vote for Kamala Harris. I'm voting for America. I'm not gonna ask what America can do for me, but I'm gonna ask myself, what can I do for America? And what I can do for America is create a pathway for the future to be brighter. And that's why I'm coming here and I'm begging you. I'm begging every last one of you. And I'm not begging you to vote for a party. I'm begging you to vote for common sense. I'm begging you to vote for America. I'm begging you to vote for your grandparents that need that, that is diabetic, that need that insulin. I'm begging you to vote for your mother and your father, who pretty soon is gonna be retiring, that might be losing their Social Security. I'm begging you to vote for that child that you have that's gonna go to college. And I'm begging you to vote for the future of this of the Department of Education, because we all need an education. Not everybody can be an influencer. Not everybody can be an athlete. And as you know it already, even to flip burger at Burger King, they're gonna ask you for a college degree. Without an education, how can you get that job if they're gonna ask you for a college degree? While they make it harder for you to get a job without an education, these buffoons, they wanna get rid of the Department of Education. It is a systemic coup. What they doing right now, they're orchestrating a systemic coup. And what do I mean by a systemic coup? They get rid of the Department of Education, they get rid of Social Security, they get rid of the Department of Justice, they get rid of the FBI and whatever else they're gonna get rid of. Okay? What happened now? You don't have an education, you can't get a job. You can get a job. You're gonna have babies, you're gonna have to rely on the government. And you better believe that you're not gonna get anything from them. And remember, those same people now in Project 2025 was calling for the termination of the Department of Education, for the termination of the Department of Justice, for the termination of the FBI. Those are the same people that were mad when BLM, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, they were mad when Black Lives Matter was calling for the defunding of police agencies across the nation so we could hold them accountable for their action. They were calling us, anti-Americans, anti-institutions, anti-law enforcement, because we wanted to hold a certain group, a certain demographic inside of the police departments accountable for their actions. They were saying that, you know what, we're calling for defunding the police, we are anti-Americans. But now, those same people now turn around, because it's gonna benefit them, they're calling for the termination of the Department of Justice. They're calling for the, for the annihilation of the FBI as an independent agency. This coup will not survive. The only way this coup will survive, it's only if us as American, we allow it to happen. And I'm calling on every single one of you out there who can vote. Vote for the future of this great nation. Vote for the future of my children and your children. Your neighbor that is suffering from diabetes that need that insulin. Your grandparents that need that medical care. And your parents are pretty soon going to be retiring, that's going to be relying on their Social Security. And your nieces and nephews, your daughter and sons, your grandchildren that needs an education. America could face a brighter day or fall deeper into the darkness with this election that is coming. This election could be the light at the end of the tunnel, or it's going to be that dead end, or it's going to be that dead end that the GPS lose signal to. Please be mindful. Vote with your mind. Okay? Vote with your mind. Don't vote with the passion for a party. I look forward to hearing what you have to say. Your comments. I look forward to you subscribing to the channel for more episodes of The Love on the Cloud, whether it's politics, whether it's romance, whether it's education, sports, or whatever you want. But tonight, join me. Let's debate this topic, the 2024 U.S. presidential election, the now and the future. Thank you for joining me. And remember, always remember, when you have something to say, silence is a lie. Until next time.